Welcome to the Shrink Wrap Show. I'm Pam Hernandez-Kaufman.
And I'm Talia Peak. We're two shrinks bringing you holistic health hacks.
With our 30 years of combined experience in therapy, we share helpful information about common issues that everyone faces.
Then we break down powerful, proven tools you can start using right away to better your life and your relationships.
Let's wrap.
Welcome back to the Shrink Wrap Show. I'm Talia Peak, and this is Dr. Pam Hernandez-Kaufman, and we're going to talk about bothersome thoughts today.
Bothersome thoughts.
Bothersome thoughts.
Everybody has them.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I have them quite frequently whenever I think about the future or I think about past things that have happened to me. And it just keeps rolling around in my head and I can't get it out. It's almost like a repetitious pattern.
Like a record.
A record, yes.
That keeps repeating.
Keeps repeating.
And, sometimes it's a concern for the future. Sometimes it's a feeling of regret from the past. Mm-hmm. And certainly if we have unanswered questions, we're waiting for information, we have a concern, we can ruminate.
Right.
And rumination is just that process of thinking over and over and over, trying to find a solution, trying to find an option, trying to get the answer.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is so hard to get that thought out of your head.
I'm sorry. I just thought of cows ruminating on cud, and for some reason it just made me think, okay, a cow has to ruminate on the cud to get it, processed and everything like that to go through the stomachs. That's just a weird thing of mine. But
and
that's kind of how it is with our own thoughts.
Well, and that takes a lot of time. They chew on their cud a lot, right?
Yeah, they do.
All right, so it's a little bit of a waste of time for us to do that. Right. We're not cows.
We're not cows.
Right.
We don't have 4 stomachs. So, how do we get that rumination to stop so we can process it and move on with our life?
Yeah, so one of the things is going to be, we know mindfulness helps, right? We know that any time I bring my attention to my senses, like we shared on another episode, that 5 senses, grounding, that can tend to bring us back into the here and now.
Right.
And just quickly to address OCD, I think it's worth a few moments. Obsessive compulsive disorder, we don't want to talk about this in terms of, a diagnostic thing per se, but rather the idea that many people have the O part of the OCD. Mm-hmm. They obsess about something. Mm-hmm. Maybe they obsess about the way that the home is cleaned, or the way the yard is picked up, or the way their kids dress, or the homework, or whatever. But this may be something that they just can't stop thinking about. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about the C part as much, where that would be more like, do you remember the Monk show? Yeah. That would be, I have to touch every third light. I have to wear 10 articles of clothing. I need the same number of things on the left and right side of my body. That's the C part of the OCD. Yeah. But the O part is that many people have thoughts that they can't seem to let go of.
Right.
And so, what we want to do today is, and by the way, that's way more common than we think. We see it a lot in the therapy office. Mm-hmm. So mindfulness, meditation, simple breathing, and we want to do a guided imagery today with them because guided imagery is another tool that we want to give you that you can then use whenever you get in a position where you just can't get this nagging thought out of your brain. And again, when that comes, it's really hard to be present in what I'm supposed to be attending to.
Right.
And I can get super anxious if I start thinking about out here in the future, and I can get really bummed if I start thinking about something from the past that I feel like I messed up or this didn't go well. I have remorse.
Yeah.
So, yes, this is a little bit different. And so what we're going to ask you to do is close your eyes. Or
unless you're driving.
Fix your eyes. Yes. If you're driving, we don't want you to keep those peepers open and just pay attention to the voice. So the first thing we want to do anytime we do a guided imagery is to just bring your attention to your breath. Mm-hmm. So as it rises in and as it falls on the exhale, you might want to imagine smelling the flowers, and blowing out the candles. And you'll notice oftentimes when you're doing any kind of guided imagery that your mind wanders and you begin to think of other things. You're just going to bring your mind gently back to what you're doing, which is this, hearing my voice and your breath, and just noticing that's a thought, it's separate from me, and I can pay attention to it later. And so as you continue to pay attention to your breath, we'd like you to bring to mind something that might be able to contain any and all disturbing thoughts or feelings. Anything that you do not want to address right now. And think about what that container might look like, how big it is, what material it's made of, what color it is, and even notice if there are any markings on the container. If there are no markings, that's fine, but we do want you to place one specific marking on the outside of the container. A message in your handwriting that would say that this is your container, only to be opened by you and only in the service of your healing. So can you take a look at your container now? And can you see that message on it? Good. And continuing to focus on your breath, you'll next look at how the container might open. How hard is it to open? It's easy? Difficult? Notice if there's a lock on it. If there isn't, you'll need to put one on. Something that you can use to securely contain anything that you might want to put in your container for as long as you want it. Keep it there. So just practice opening and closing your container, locking and unlocking. And when you feel comfortable with that, think now of something just right now that you might like to try putting in that container. Could be a thought, a feeling, a concern, a worry, anything. A bad memory, a bad feeling, whatever it might be. It could be pain, doubt, self-judgment. Anything that's getting in the way of you being present in your life right at the moment. So just for practice, go ahead and put that in your container. Close it, lock it, and walk away. Once you've walked away from your container, see if you can feel any sense of relief inside your body now that this thing that was disturbing you is no longer visible, no longer in your sight. And continue to notice your breath, your in-breath and your out-breath, noticing any sensations of relief that you might feel in your body. Knowing that whatever you put in that container is securely contained until you're ready to remove it or keep it in there. So again, we're just practicing now. So just for practice, we want you to walk back to your container. And when you get there, open it up and notice that what you put in there is still there, completely separate from you. You might want to take it out. You might want to put something else in. Whatever you need to do right now, just do that. And once you've finished practicing putting things in your container and securely locking it, you can again walk away from it, knowing that this is a resource for you to use anytime something bothersome, disturbing, or distressing is coming your way that you don't want to address right now. This container can be a helpful tool for you to use at any time, anywhere, with any issue. So again, bring your attention back to your breath as it comes in, smell the flowers, and blow out the candles on your exhale. I need to take a breath. This container can be very helpful. I use it with a lot of clients. I'm not sure if you use a tool like this. A lot of my clients, kids are amazing.
Yeah.
They'll come in and say, yeah, well, I made a nuclear reaction site and I put it under the sea.
Yeah.
Or people will say, I had
Treasure box.
It was a treasure box.
Yeah.
It was a submarine. Other people just, well, it was just a little plastic container and
It was a shoebox.
I could still see in it, but it was far away, and that made me feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
And really safe. So the bothersome thoughts, another tool for you to use. And so your health hack here, the container.
Yeah.
Use it.
It
might be
go.
helpful. Let it go.
Somewhere
Put it away.
out of your brain for a little bit. You can come back and process it if you need to when you're ready.
When you're ready. Go get it when you're ready.
I think that's the important part is that knowing that you can come back and process that. You can come back to a therapist or a trusted, safe person and say, hey, I've put a thought away and I need to process it with someone safe, someone secure.
I brought my container with me, and can I do that with you?
Can I do it with you? And then some people would prefer to just do it by themselves, and that's okay too. So however you do it, processing those things is important for healing as well.
And many clients do that.
Yeah.
I want to bring that in when I see you next time.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want it. It's too big for me right now.
Right.
So
right.
I'll do it some other time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And again, just to feel more normal about that O part of the OCD, many of us wrestle with these things. And there are tools that we can use that can help us with that.
Yeah.
So thank you. That's our show for today. Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you next time on the Shrink Wrap Show. We're so glad you joined us today on the Shrink Wrap Show.
If you enjoyed this episode or found it helpful, remember to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and share the show with people you care about.
Also, your feedback is valuable, so leave a comment, question, or suggestion, and we'll see you next time on the Shrink Wrap Show.